Did you know, according to happyworker.com, there are 2 billion moms in the whole world and 82.5 million in the United States? Well, out of those 2 billion women, I'm convinced that I have the best mom out there. I've been on this earth for 19, going on 20 years now, and each year she's been my biggest fan. I just hope that this tribute can show you just how truly wonderful she is. My mom, Kim Mady, is a hard-working, selfless single mother who has always been there for me, has helped me through my hardest times in life, and is one of the biggest contributors to who I am today as a person. My mom has a wonderful personality with a heart of gold. She is a selfless, caring person and always has been. She's the type of person that would give you the shirt off of her back and will go out of her way to help anyone in need. She has arranged several different benefits to help those less fortunate. She was a member of the Ride for the Cure breast cancer awareness group, and anytime help is needed, she's always there. This past year, my grandma broke her leg and was unable to get around. My mom stayed with her for several nights to help and take care of her. She didn't care if that meant staying up until the wee hours of the morning just to keep her company. Even though she had to wake up and go to work the next morning, she did it to make my grandma happy. As a single mother, raising me and my brother, she worked endlessly to provide a great life for us. At the age of 21, she gave birth to her first child, my brother. She was unable to continue attending school, so she began working to provide for her family. After having me, at age 26, she realized she needed to go back and continue her education, so she decided to go and complete her degree in business administration at the age of 34. In August of 2006, she began working as a distribution processor. Her degree not only helped her develop skills in her career, but also opened up opportunities for advancement. After only 9 months of employment, she received her first promotion, and since then, she has worked effortlessly to further her career. Not only is she a wonderful mother, she's a great friend. Whenever a person's in need, my mom is always there. If anyone, including friends and family, ever has a problem, she's the first person they call. She has so many friends and people who care about her because she always gives 200% to everybody. It's very rare that we go anywhere and she doesn't see at least one person that she knows. And every time I get introduced to her friends, they have really great things to say about her. Now that you know a little bit more about my mom and her wonderful personality, I'd like to tell you about how she's helped me get through some of the hardest times of my life. My mom has always been there for me, especially in the hard times. Back in 2011, when my dad passed away, my mom was by my side to help me get through it. I was in Lubbock for the weekend when my dad actually passed, but when I got home, she broke the news, and she was there to comfort me after I found out. Even though she raised us on her own, she was my emotional support through all of it, and even sat with me during the funeral. She lost her dad when she was 27 years old. Even though I was quite a bit younger, she had been through that type of emotional loss, so she knew how to help me get through it. My first relationship was far from great, and luckily my mom saw that. When I was a freshman in high school, I began dating a boy that was much older than me. It was my first relationship, so I thought that I loved him. I kept this from my mom for several months, and when she found out, she was extremely upset and put a stop to it. This was far from healthy, and while I'd rather not get into details, this whole situation devastated me. But at the same time, the relationship destroyed me. I just didn't see it that way. For months, I couldn't even stand the sight of my mom. I basically resented her. But after some time, I began to realize just how right she really was. The relationship was abusive, both physically and mentally. And I know for many women, those are the hardest relationships to get away from. Without my mom, I would have struggled for a very long time with that. Once I began to finally come around, she offered me advice as well as a shoulder to cry on, which helped me more than I ever thought that it would. I realize today how lucky I really am that I had someone like my mom who loved and cared about me so much to get me out of that relationship. This past year, I decided to change my major, and my mom stood by me every step of the way. After my first semester at AC, I realized that I wasn't very happy with my major of biology. After some consideration, I decided to change my major to radiography. Even though the in pay wasn't near as much as my original major, I was really interested in it, and I didn't have to go to school for nearly as long. I was worried that I would disappoint my mom by changing my major, but I was really wrong. She stood by me and still continues to stand by me as I continue to work for my degree. Now that you've heard how my mom has helped me get through some of the toughest times in my life, I'd like to talk about how she has made me me. My mom has taught me many things in life, and without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. She taught me to always believe in myself through her words of encouragement. There's times that I get really down on myself, and I'm my biggest critic. And even when I think that I'm not good enough or that I can't do something, I just think back to how much she supports and believes in me, and I know that I can do anything that I set my mind to. And I know that may sound a little cliche, but it's had a huge impact on my life. She's also taught me that everything happens for a reason. Whenever something bad happens, instead of dwelling on it and making myself miserable, I accept the fact that there's a reason that it's happened, and I move on. The biggest thing my mom has taught me is to just enjoy life. Tomorrow is never promised for us, so we need to enjoy it while we can. There's rarely a time that we aren't together and we aren't laughing. Even in the little things, we know how to make it fun. Our time on this planet's limited, so we have to learn to enjoy it now. And I know my life is much better when I'm laughing with my mom. My mom is someone I've always looked up to because she is my biggest role model. Because she's my biggest role model. My mom is the strongest, most caring, and most loving mother I have ever met. She has taught me right from wrong, and she's always been my biggest fan. I strive to make her happy each and every day. Not only would my life be completely different, my life would be empty without her. I always have and always will look up to her, and if I become a mom, I hope that one day I can be as wonderful of a mom as she's been to me. Now, this may just sound like your typical tribute speech, but to me it's worth so much more than that. I have been blessed beyond means to have my mom in my life. She is a wonderful person with a great personality and a heart of gold, and she stuck by my side through the toughest of times, and without her, I wouldn't be where I am today. I just hope helps her to realize how much she means to me and how much I appreciate everything she does for me. And as George Washington once said, my mother is the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am, I owe to my mom. My success in life I attribute to the moral, intellectual, and physical education I received from her. Thank you for everything, Mom. I love you.